Turkish Get Up. It's a pretty fundamental lift as a part of the Russian kettlebell certification. A lot of benefits of the lift, a bit of complexity. Understand, it's going to take you some time. It's a good way of also looking at how your body moves and seeing if there's anything that we need to fix up. For some of you guys, it'll be a challenge with the lunge. For some of you guys, it'll be a challenge having your hand above your head because you don't have the shoulder mobility. There is a lot going on during the lift. There's rolling patterns, there's work on core and posture. As we said, there's lunge, there's shoulder mobility and general strength. So this is a great movement. I should also mention, for a lot of you guys, practicing getting down from the ground, coming up and down again is a pretty important thing to practice in general. So the Turkish Get Up, don't take it for granted. Be very patient. It is a fantastic kettlebell exercise if done well. Okay, so Ryan's got 20 kilos here, which is a hefty amount of weight to do a Turkish Get Up. This is going to be a bit tiring for him, but nonetheless, it's going to be good for you guys to see it. So we'll break down the Turkish Get Up, or you would have seen it in another video anyhow, but we'll just show you, and I'll still talk about the steps here. So Ryan's on his right shoulder, his knees are bent slightly. He's still pulling his shoulders away from his ears. I would say he's almost laying on his right shoulder and a bit on his elbow. Kettlebell will be in his right hand, left hand on top. He'll draw the kettlebell towards his navel. Okay, so that's called pull, and the next position is rolling. So he's going to roll it over onto his back. Okay, from here, he's going to press the kettlebell out. Now the big thing is, and this is hard to translate to a lot of you guys because it takes some time, we want a straight or flat wrist, okay? So if I show you my wrist, this is going to be applicable to a lot of your kettlebell lifts. What we don't want is this going on because it can end up being an elbow issue. This would be good practice in terms of making sure that it's nice and flat through here when you're doing your cleans, your Turkish Get Up, and your pressing as well. So going back to Ryan. He's pressed the kettlebell up, his shoulders have been pulled away from his ears a bit, so I'll just go like that. The next position is starfishing with his legs, okay? His right knee's bent, his left hand's out to the side, one arm but parallel with his left leg. So again, there's a bit of complexity with that. You'll learn as you go along. Next bit is called roll to post position. So he's going to roll up. He presses his elbow into the ground. This hip will come off the ground a bit. You're not pulling up and crunching, you're rolling to the left a little bit. His chest is out, so he's focused on posture, shoulders are pulled away from ears. Next position is tall sit. All right, so again, posture, shoulders pulled away from ears, elbows locked out, wrist straight. He's going to do the low sweep next. So he brings his hip up a bit, he pulls that knee through. So let me just point something out. As best as possible, there's a line here, hand, knee and foot. He pulled his knee through so it's pretty close to this hand, okay? So he's going to come up into a lunge position. We call that windscreen wiping this rear foot. So he'll turn that. Again, his shoulders are down. He'll breathe in, he'll come up, so he'll lunge. So this is where it gets a bit tough because he's under load for a little bit, and this is probably a good thing for you guys to practice. Shoulders are down, wrists are straight. It's not like that. You've got to keep correcting this the whole time, guys. Abs are on a tiny bit, glutes are on a little bit, quads are on a bit. We can talk about switching things on a little bit later. He'll slide his left foot back because he's reached the top. Slowly down. So it's got to be a long lunge. If it's too narrow, he's going to crunch it up and it's going to ruin the next bit. The tricky part is he'll turn this left leg, the windscreen wipe as we call it, with his left hand. He walks it down his leg and out a bit. He also hinges his hip. You would have seen him hinge that, and his spine is nice and long and strong again. He'll thread his left leg through and take a seat. Again, he's nice and tall. For some of you guys, this is where it gets tricky again. He's coming down onto his elbow, but he's sticking his chest out. This is the tricky bit once again from here. I want him to push away with his elbow. So he's pushing away from his elbow, so he's not crunching his shoulder. He's back onto his back. He's got his knees coming together, hands on the bell, draws it towards his navel and rolls back to his start position. Now, if you've got a decent amount of weight, once you finish one side, you actually just drag the kettlebell around you and roll onto the other shoulder, and then you're ready to go on the other side. So that's the Turkish Get Up with weight.